snares. I have
So there are currently, again, 500,000 people going through this system, going through a system with no enforceable detention standards, no due process or right to counsel, and they can be transferred at ICE's whim. They can just, be transferred from New York to Georgia, far away from family, far away from counsel. This is truly a human rights and civil rights issue hidden within our communities. And also, you see the expansion of enforcement programs across the country, but here in Georgia as well, in Gwinnett County and Cobb County, I believe 287G, which gives local law authority the power of ICE agents. And what's really important to note about that is that these programs are not only targeting immigrants on the ground, but they're also contributing to the expansion of these detention facilities. They're completely connected.
With CCA, I want to draw attention to the high rate of sexual assaults there. Many of you might not be aware of that, but particularly with detainees. If you look at their facility at Teton Hutto, which is named after one of the founders of CCA, probably rightly so, there was a sexual attack that happened there where one of the detainees had sex in front of her child who was in a crib. And it was not against the law for a detention officer working for CCA to have sex with a detainee. They had to change the federal law. And that's part of the problem with these public companies, or private companies. You'll see that the public laws don't apply, and sometimes they have to catch up, and that's a bad thing. Our country's not set up for private companies to run prisons, and you should probably all be aware of that. When you look at a lot of the other sexual assaults, when you look at Torrance facility out in New Mexico, it has the highest sexual assault rate in the nation, and that's from the Criminal Department of Justice. So that's a government statistics. So it makes you wonder why the government is still doing contracts with them. The rate there is 3 to 7 times higher than the national average of sexual assaults. The government said there's a 95% chance that, I believe it was 5 to 20% is the sexual assault rate, which is astronomical. It's embarrassing. So it just makes you wonder what's going on in Stewart.
You're watching RT Live from Moscow now. More than 1 in 10 deaths in American immigration prisons have gone unreported and not made it onto the official list, says the U.S. administration. It follows an investigation by the American Civil Liberties Union.
So we're here today to demand due process and basic human rights for immigrants, and also to commemorate and memorialize the death of Roberto Martinez Medina, a 39-year-old man who died back in March of a heart infection. We still don't know to this day why he had to die. He started complaining of pain 3 days before he collapsed. ICE has still not provided to us any information about why he had to die of this completely preventable condition. And unfortunately, this is not unique to Stewart or to Georgia. There have been more than 100 deaths, 105 deaths since 2003 in immigration detention facilities, most of them due to completely preventable conditions because of lack of medical attention, lack of basic medical care.
400,000 people are being held in these detention centers, awaiting deportation by the United States government. This new announcement raises concerns about the lack of transparency at these detention centers.
Anyone told ICE to turn immigrants into commodities for the profit of private corporations? But this is a little death. This is just a little death. And every day in this place, there are other little deaths. Every time there is medical attention that is delayed or denied in this place, there is a little death of the dignity of those who are held here, the 1,750 men that are in there right now. Every time a man has to lose his dignity because there's only one toilet for every 33 detainees, there is a little death that happens to that man.
Praise God, 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 praise God. Praise God, praise God, praise God.